Good evening, and welcome to Smoky Valley High School's commencement ceremony. Today, we celebrate the graduation of the class of 2021. We are so glad you could join us in person this evening to celebrate your seniors. It is our intent that this commencement program be a special occasion. We ask for your cooperation by refraining from talking or using noise-making devices during our ceremony. We want our commencement to be a dignified event, and we ask for your cooperation in making it so. I do want to point out we are live streaming tonight. We are streaming our commencement program this evening, so please direct any family members that weren't able to be here to live.smokyvalley.org. From there, they will be able to watch the commencement ceremony. And I want to say a special thank you to Mike Rose and Jenica Rose for streaming our commencement tonight. After you let your family and friends know about the live stream, I would ask that you check to make sure that your cell phones have been silenced or turned off. Lastly, we may have a graduate that comes in late tonight. She has a good excuse. Carrick Elliott is swimming in Topeka in the state competition, and hopefully Mr. Elliott can drive like Carrick swims and get here quickly. If she does come in at any point, we will read her name and get her a diploma. It is looking like she may not make it, but if she does, we will do that. And at this time, I would like to introduce the senior class president, Elise Peterson.
Graduates, teachers, parents, and administrators, welcome to the graduation of the class of 2021. We are so thankful we could gather tonight to celebrate and validate the Smoky Valley High School class of 2021. I would like to congratulate each of my classmates for a year well done during these unprecedented times. Thank you, friends and family, for supporting us through 12 years of school, sporting events, and concerts. We truly would not be walking the stage tonight if it wasn't for you. Thank you. At this time, I would like to turn your attention to the senior slideshow for the class of 2021.
At this time, it is my privilege to introduce Senior Jacob Lucas, who will be providing our special music this evening. Jacob will be performing Horn Concerto No. 2 in E-flat by W.A. Mozart, and Tyler Brenneman will be accompanying on the piano. It is now my privilege to present to you the honor students from the class of 2021. Being an honor student is one of the greatest academic achievements that one can obtain during high school here at Smoky Valley. There are 3 levels of honor status at Smoky Valley High School, those being honors, high honors, and highest honors. These are based on the student's cumulative grade point average from the beginning of their freshman year through the end of their first semester of their senior year. In order to receive the honors status, a student must earn a grade point average of 3.50 to 3.69 on a 4.0 scale. The following students have obtained honors status. Please hold your applause until they have all reached the stage. Carrick Elliott, Ryan Helene, Ty Miller, and Jalen Myers. Please join me in congratulating these students. In order to receive the high honor status, a student must earn a grade point average of 3.70 to 3.89 on a 4.0 scale. The following students have obtained high honor status. Please hold your applause until they have all reached the stage. Ellie Brumbaugh, Bronson Golden, Brant Hebel, McKinley Johnson, Elise Ramsey, that's right, yay, and Jacob Sims. Please join me in congratulating these students. In order to receive the highest honor status, a student must earn a grade point average of 3.90 to 4.0 on a 4.0 scale. The following students have obtained this highest honor status. Please hold your applause until they have all reached the stage. This is a big group, so I think this speaks to the class. I think there's 16 or 18 in this group. Emma Beaker, Claire Brocksterman, Ava Goss, Abigail Hipp, Jacob Lucas, Ophelia Miller, Madison Odell, Isabel Peters, Elise Peterson, Kaisa Peterson, Stephen Peterson, Madison Rep, Jameson Sattler, Court Shugren, Ilea Wampler, Jacqueline Waugh, Sarah Wells, and Chloe Wolf. Please join me in congratulating these students. Each year, the Kansas State High School Activities Association awards 2 seniors, one male and one female, with the Kansas State High School Activities Association Citizenship Award. Smoky Valley High School faculty members select 2 students who they believe are the most outstanding citizens. The award is based on the following criteria: respect, shows respect at all times for the flag, our national anthem, and the Constitution. Shows respect for the students and the citizens of the school and community. Respects both public and private property. Shows respect for the student and adult leaders in the school and community. Demonstrates a tolerance and respect for the beliefs and rights of others. Responsibility. Demonstrates the willingness to assume citizenship responsibilities in school and in the community. Works to build school pride through active participation in projects that publicize, honor, or beautify the school. Displays good sportsmanship, whether as a participant or a spectator. Is friendly towards new students and encourages them to become involved in school activities. And lastly, reverence. Shows reverence, concern, and respect for the well-being of others. Ladies and gentlemen, the 2021 recipients of the Kansas State High School Activities Association Citizenship Award are Claire Brocksterman and Ryan Helene. Yeah. I'm being a good citizen. I'm holding those for them. I'm not taking them. The graduating seniors chosen to speak to you tonight have had the honor of being chosen by their peers. Both of these students represent the best ideals of Smoky Valley High School and have left Smoky Valley High School a better place than when they arrived. Please welcome to the podium Ophelia Miller and Court Shugren.
Okay. For those of you who don't know me, I've been at Smoky Valley for the past 13 years, and I'm just about to be done. I've watched a lot of exceptional students graduate before me, and I'm beyond proud to join the Smoky Valley alumni today. I promise I'm going to keep this short because I know the most exciting part is coming up, but I have a few things I want to say before I go. I'd like to start off by saying that I consider myself incredibly lucky to have been a Smoky Valley student. I have met some of the kindest people during my time here, and I've been fortunate enough to learn from some pretty fantastic teachers. They taught me a lot academically, but more than that, they've taught me about life. I've seen the teachers and staff here display so much kindness and patience with their students, even in times when I know my class may have tested them. From a young age, I've had excellent role models to look up to in my teachers. I still remember the first time I walked into Soderstrom at 5 years old, and I have been so proud to be a Smoky Valley student ever since. I would also like to thank my friends in the class of 2021. I'm lucky enough to know everyone I'm graduating with personally, many of them since kindergarten. I've seen the people walking with me today go from throwing tantrums and eating glue to getting their driver's license and voting in their first elections this year. My classmates have changed in so many ways over the years, and I'm so impressed with the people they have become. We've been through a lot as a class, but I've always known I could count on them to make me laugh and cheer me up. They've shown me how to have fun and find the silver lining in every situation, and I think that might be the most valuable lesson there is to learn. Even though I'm not close with everyone, I've made memories with every person walking today at one time or another. Spanning from elementary to high school, some of my favorite memories include the time I beat Skylar Hopkins up on the playground in kindergarten, Kaisa's promise that she would beatbox at graduation, I am waiting, and finally being able to enjoy prom with my friends last month. I watched my classmates go from hyper elementary students to actual adults over the past 13 years, and I consider myself lucky to have changed and grown right alongside them. Even though it has definitely been a strange couple years to end with, this class has found ways to have fun and make each other laugh. I will cherish the memories I've made with this group of people for the rest of my life, and I wish them all the very best. I've been looking forward to this day for years, and I'm so excited that we've all finally made it. Although it's bittersweet to say goodbye to the people I've been surrounded with for so long, I'm excited to see where the coming years will take them. I want to thank Smoky Valley and the class of 2021 for teaching me so much and for bringing me so much laughter over the years. I really would not trade this group of people for the world, and I know they're going to do great things.
This speech would have been a lot longer if I didn't have a dipple paper due right after this, so thank her that I'm keeping this short. But then again, if it weren't for her, I probably wouldn't be confident enough in my writing to sign up to speak here. First thing I'd like to do is congratulate the seniors. It's been a quick, crazy 4 years that we made it through. We toughed it out through COVID and made it through it all. Next thing is I'd like to thank the faculty and staff. COVID really threw a wrench into everything, and you all took it in stride to make it as normal as possible for us students. As Coach Lambert once said, gratefulness is one of the most important qualities someone can have. None of us graduates got here completely on our own. Whether it be our teachers, our parents, or our peers pushing us to succeed, we had someone that wanted us to be better. Us students, and now graduates, I'd like you to take some time after this to thank those who helped you along the way. The next point I'd like to mention serves as a reminder for us seniors, but also some insight for any underclassmen here. Be involved. School is what you make of it, whether it be high school or college. If you think that school is just going to be an awful, terrible time, and you never want to be there, that's what it'll be like. Be involved in student organizations, sports, clubs, whatever it may be. I know I'm leaving high school with some regrets where I wish I participated in this or joined that sport. Don't leave with regrets. Don't let the what-ifs hold you back. Football is where I had some of my best memories of high school. I wouldn't have interacted with any of the upperclassmen or the coaches without it. As an underclassman, I was able to be built up by those upperclassmen, and then later, as an upperclassman, being able to continue on the legacy and build up the underclassmen after you. Just like at Fatty's Buffet, and all I have to say to that is rest in peace, Coyote Canyon. But to me, sports weren't just all fun and games. They served as life lessons about hard work and perseverance, and there was plenty of that with Coach Lambert as your coach. Moral of the story is stay involved. Don't let schoolwork consume you. Allow some time for fun, to meet and interact with other people. While sports and other activities are great ways to branch out and try new things, education still sits at the forefront of our time here. I'd like to thank our educators here at our school. I am confident that my education here has prepared me for my time ahead at college. You may complain now about Mrs. Dipple's nitpicking in our papers, but writing in college will be a cakewalk, though luckily I won't have any more poems to analyze after this year. Other than English, I feel confident to continue on in math next year because of the help of our math department with Mr. Henderson, Mrs. Stula, and Mrs. Crable, who is probably sick of me by now, as this is my third year having her as my math teacher. So thank you again for teaching us through this crazy time. One last thing for the graduates. Don't let yourself be complacent. We may have finished these 4 years of high school, but those 4 years only constitute a small portion of our life. Whether you go to college, technical school, or work, strive to excel. Don't let the fact that we finished here slow you down. There are many more years ahead of us than there are behind us. Though I'd said I'd keep this short, this is only compared to the other papers I wrote this semester. I'd just like to congratulate the class of 2021 again. You all deserve it.
The Smoky Valley High School teacher chosen by the members of the senior class to speak with you this evening is Miss Shelley Carlson. Miss Carlson and her husband Calvin live a few miles outside of Lindsborg, and they have 3 adult children and 6 grandchildren. They've been entrepreneurs together for about 35 years in farming, ranching, and selling farm real estate. Shelley has a degree in home economics education from Kansas State University and loves to teach. She's taught in the Smoky Valley School District for 13 years, home educated their children for 12 years, helped to begin the virtual charter school, and has given numerous creative artistic programs in the community. Shelley loves to encourage others and help them discover more about themselves and their purpose in life. Please join me in welcoming Miss Shelley Carlson.
Thank you, Mr. Lee. What an honor it is to be before you this evening. I give a heartfelt welcome to in-person and online faculty, friends, families, and especially to the Smoky Valley High School senior class of 2021. I teach a lot of different classes in FACS. That's home ec for those of you that don't know. But my very favorite class is the fashion and design class where we sew and make a project during lab times. It's so much fun because it combines what I love, teaching, creating, and connecting to the students. I've been sewing since I've been 7 or 8 years old, and it's brought me much joy and satisfaction as I've used my gifts to create something useful for myself or others. So, a sewing project is the topic of my presentation for tonight. Let me start with a story. Once upon a time, there was a young girl. She loved to work with her hands and create things, often with repurposed materials. One summer, she got to go spend a couple weeks at her grandmother's house. Her grandma lived in an old white 2-story farmhouse, like many of you have seen in the countryside outside of Lindsborg. The young girl was so excited because Grandma had invited her favorite cousin and was going to help them cut fabrics, shapes, and piece them together into the girl's first and very own quilt. Her mom helped her to gather together fabrics from previous sewing projects, so she had a stash of brightly colored fabric scraps to add to those of her cousin and her grandmother. With Grandma's direction, the girls cut squares of fabric in solid colors and squares of fabric in matching colored designs. They sewed them together into a 9-square pattern, one block after another, in what became a rhythmic, kind of monotonous routine. The girls broke the time up, running and playing outside and giggling a lot, but they were persistent and finally completed the number of blocks necessary to finish the quilt top. The grandma then took a large piece of yellow fabric and tore it into long, even strips. These strips were sewn between the blocks, connecting them into one large quilt top. Okay, I know that you knew that story was about me. Almost 50 years later, I still have that quilt that Grandma Clark helped me to make. And yes, you can chuckle at those vintage 70s fabrics. A quilt. A quilt makes a wonderful metaphor for a graduation speech. What thoughts can we glean from a quilt to help you step forward into the next chapter of your life? There are many, and I will choose just a few, I promise. The first thing I notice about a quilt is the overall pattern that its creator used. This quilt pattern, like I said, is called the 9-square. There are hundreds and hundreds of quilt patterns. One is even called the crazy quilt pattern, and I think that might describe a few of you. Have you ever thought about how there's a pattern or a theme to people's lives? Humor me. Close your eyes for just a minute and think about a person that you admire and you know well. Not someone that you follow online, but someone that you've spent time with and observed. If you needed to make an introduction of this person you admire, how would you describe them? What are the key things that you really admire about them? Got some things in mind? Okay, open your eyes. Now, what do those things all have in common? Is this person maybe devoted to their family, an honest and hardworking person, loyal and trustworthy no matter what? If so, that's the pattern of their life's theme as such. Let me give you an example about someone that I admire, my dad. For their 50th anniversary, I asked people to send letters to my parents about what they remembered and appreciated about them. Over and over in those letters, I read the same types of things about my dad. In high school, he drove through a blizzard at Christmas time to get his cousins so they wouldn't spend time alone right after their dad had died. He rode a tilled a widow's flower bed. He had us deliver garden produce to our neighbors and mow the yard at the church for free every week. He spent time with his family, and he loved his wife, my mom. What do these things have in common? He did kind acts of service for others. My dad had a servant heart, and he cared about people. If I had the opportunity to introduce him to you right now, I wouldn't talk about his bank account or anything he owned. I would talk about the pattern of his life, how he repeatedly served other people. What will the pattern of your life be? Your theme, the thing that you will be known for over time. Choose to create the pattern of your life and start being that person today. The pattern on this quilt is made up of smaller fabric squares. If this quilt is a metaphor for you, what makes up the fabric squares of your life? Your life consists of days full of myriads of events, experiences, and opportunities. These experiences are similar to the many fabric scraps that make up this quilt. Some of these days have experiences that are interesting and challenging and varied, like the bright, patterned fabric in these blocks. Perhaps you've gone on an amazing trip to Disneyland, adopted a special pet, attended prom, which we got to have this year, or had a profound aha moment. These events are special and influential, sometimes even life-changing. Graduating high school is one of those special events that you will remember for the rest of your life. Most of the adults here could tell you all about their graduation day, even after a lot of years. Continue to make memories. Be adventurous. Step outside your comfort zone. Try new things. Grow as a person and add more colorful pattern to your life. Choose to cherish these memorable days of your life. A reality of life, though, is that some of those patterned days are not of your choosing, and they bring challenging things into your life. They feel darker, more difficult. These days are also memorable, but because of hardship instead of joy. There is a saying, upon every life, a little rain must fall. Can we all say COVID? A worldwide pandemic shut down our school and took us online to do our classes this past year. We all experienced this hardship together, yet apart. It's been hard. Here's a little tip for you. Remember to save your masks. You can wear them to your high school reunions just for fun. There will be more challenging things that do touch your life. Meet these challenges head on. Learn from them. On the other side, you will be stronger and more empathetic to others. Choose to display courage in your challenging days. Between the patterned fabric squares on this quilt, there are other squares cut from solid colored fabrics. These represent your everyday days. You know, the ones that run together and you don't really remember. Now be honest, that describes many of your days in high school, right? You got up, went to school, attended classes, did your homework, well, or at least most of it, right? And these days are more routine and predictable, like the plain colored squares in the quilt. They don't set your world on fire, and you don't remember them specifically. But the reality is, most days are like this, just everyday days. But guess what? You get to decide how these everyday days will go. You can choose to act in ways that over time form habits. These habits will set you forwards or backwards in the direction of your life. You can get up to your alarm, make your bed, and move into your day. You can choose to eat well and exercise, using sunscreen, of course. You can take an interest in others and treat them respectfully. Over time, the activities and choices you make on these everyday days forge your character. This quote says it so well. Watch your thoughts, they become your words. Watch your words, they become your habits. Watch your habits, they become your character. Watch your character, they become your destiny. Choose good character. Set a direction for your everyday days and become a person of destiny. And remember, today is a great day to begin choosing well. All the blocks in this quilt are joined together with yellow strips of fabric. The bright fabric surrounds the blocks with color and ties it all together. Yellow symbolizes optimism, energy, happiness, and friendship. As you move through life, approach the events and people you encounter with a positive attitude. This perspective will provide so much energy and will fuel your courage. Plus, it just makes you a whole lot more fun to be around. So, dump the sarcasm, dump the complaining. Never once have I known a negative attitude to help in any way. Choose to be cheerful every day and to have a positive outlook. Be the cup is half full person and have an I can do it attitude. Okay, so I know the word cheerful is kind of cheesy, but it starts with a C. When my quilt was all pieced together, my mother sent it out to be quilted. A woman in my hometown layered the quilt top, the fiber batting, and the backing fabric, and with a needle and thread made row upon row of little stitches across that quilt. I know you can't see it, but this quilting holds the layers together so the batting inside doesn't get in a wad. What will hold your life together? I would like to propose that it's your values, the deeply important things that you hold dear. In my personal experience, my deeply held values of faith in God, love for family and friends, the desire to be creative and teach, and the hope that I might encourage others brings me such hope and purpose. Your values are the straight lines of stitching that help you to make good decisions and keep your life from getting in a wad. Choose to keep your values at the center of your life. They will hold your life together. Lastly, what's the purpose of a quilt? I had a neighbor that made quilts, and she had them all folded up and stacked in her closet. I always thought it was such a shame. A quilt is made for a purpose, to wrap a person up and keep them warm, to lay on the ground for a picnic, or to cover a bed. You have a purpose. You are created uniquely and are gifted, a one-of-a-kind person. Choose to be charitable and share your gifts with the world to make it a better place. There's a lot that goes into making a quilt. And there's a lot that goes into making a fulfilling life. Choose to create your pattern. Start being the person today that you want to be remembered by tomorrow. Choose to cherish the memorable days of your life. Choose to display courage on your challenging days. Choose good character and become a person of destiny. Choose to be cheerful and have a positive outlook. Choose to keep your values at the center of your life. They will hold things together. Choose to be charitable and share your gift with the world to make it a better place. God cares about the pattern of your life. In Jeremiah 29:11 it says, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, to give you a hope and a future." Class of 2021, I wish you the very, very best. Go and be the good you want to see in the world. Thank you.
At this time, it is my pleasure, after he puts the chair away, to introduce to you our superintendent, Mr. Glenn Supus.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, members of the USD 400 Board of Education, before us this evening are the seniors of the class of 2021. These young men and women have fulfilled the requirements as prescribed by the State of Kansas and the USD 400 Board of Education. So it is with distinct honor that I present to you the graduating class of 2021.
Haven and Abby, if you guys want to come up. Graduates, while we're getting set up, I just want to say I'm proud and honored to be standing before you today. I look at this room and it's brimming with potential athletic, musical, academic, fine arts, and I'm just incredibly proud of the resiliency you've shown and the grit that you've shown during your high school career. I can't imagine that we won't look back 100 years from now and read about your high school experience and think, man, that was crazy. So anyway, long story short, I appreciate everything that you've done. I wish you well in your future endeavors, and I want you to enjoy this day. Remember that when the first row comes up and you walk across, you can demask for the photo over here, okay? Front row, if you'd join me at the front, please. Carter Wade Adam. So every year the seniors give the principal a little something, and on the first day of their senior year they wanted to sticker the parking lot, and I bet Elise Peterson and I picked up about 40,000 stick-it notes, post-it notes, so very apropos. Thank you very much. Francesco Alessi. Leroy J. Bean II. Riley Carson Behana. They have personalized notes on some of them. I'm a little bit nervous to read those. We'll see. I'm not going to read those out loud, I promise. Emma Caroline Beaker. Samuel Jameson Blackham. Tate Palmer Brewer. Mackenzie Brockelman. Claire Elizabeth Brocksterman. Ellie Marie Brumbaugh. Jade Aaron Carter. The next name is Carrick Ann Elliott. She's not here, but we will give her diploma when we see her, and I hope state swimming went well. Yeah, thank you. Jalen Michael Elseth. Chandler Alexandra Evans. Aiden James Everett. Kine Mitchell Finney. Aubriana Trinae Franklin. Bronson Allen Golden. Ava Delphine Goss. Carrington Kai Haxton. Brant Thomas Hebel. Addie Elise Heitschmidt. Ryan Matthew Helene. Reagan Renee Hinderleiter. Abigail Grace Hip. Skylar Dean Hopkins. Alexis Gracie Johnson. McKinley Dawn Johnson. Garrett John Kern. Cameron Marie Kuntz. Lois Maria Luisa LaRose. Kaysen Jean Lindquist. Jacob Robert Lucas. Tanner Michael Luddig. Brandon David Malm. Kenzie Ray McCulloch. Whitley Camille McElroy. Ophelia Moondon Shalak Miller. Ty Lane Miller. Olivia Helen Jean Morgan. Paige Madison Morris. Jalen Nicole Myers. We have another graduate that couldn't be here tonight. I had an emergency in the family. That is Chayton James Nichols. Chandler Maris Nicholson. Madison Grace Odell. James Nathaniel Eastman. Mariana Olivas. Joseph B. Osowski. Isabel Marie Peters. Elise Marie Peterson. Kaisa Marie Peterson. Stephen Carl Peterson. It's not me. Dalton James Potter. Elise Katie Ramsey. Madison Grace Rep. Cameron David Rogers. Jameson Daniel Sattler. Haley Marie Saunders. Jacob E. Sims. Court William Shugren. Skylar Brian Taylor. William Barrett Unrein. Ilea Kathleen Wampler. Jacqueline Carolina Waugh. Sarah Michelle Sophie Wells. Chloe Evelyn Wolf. Parents, relatives, and friends, on behalf of USD 400 and Smoky Valley High School, I present to you the alumni of the class of 2021. If I could have the graduates and the auditorium stand up for the recessional. Following the recessional, you may congratulate the graduates out front of the auditorium. This concludes our ceremony, and thank you for attending.